Hello and welcome to Transfermarkt TV. I'm Ben Littlemore and today I am joined by Transfermarkt's concept manager in the Netherlands, Kevin Lux. And Kevin joins us today because we're talking about one of the most exciting young defenders in Europe right now. And that young defender is Ajax centre-back / left-back, Jorrel Hato. And he's been linked with a number of top clubs, most recently Liverpool. Reports suggest he's a long-term target for Arsenal and also Real Madrid. Kevin, he's made quite an impact already at his age. He's played 3 times for the Netherlands already, which is crazy at 18. I think this season he's got 3 goals and 4 assists from defence, which is in itself quite the achievement. Would you mind starting by just telling us, what type of defender Hato is and what are his sort of strong attributes?
Hato is the typical Ajax defender as we've seen them, quite a few of them the past few years. He's good in possession, carrying the ball, being offensively capable, but also defensively strong. Just like the players before him, like Jurrien, Daley Blind, and Matthijs de Ligt. So the typical Ajax defender.
Last season, I think primarily he played at centre-back, but this season he's played almost all of his games at left-back. I know in sort of modern football we're seeing left-backs and centre-backs quite intermingled. We see what Pep Guardiola and Arteta sometimes play centre-halves at full-back. Well, where do you think his best position will be going forward?
I think his best position will be centre-back, because that's where he's more capable of. As a left-back, especially in Dutch football, you need to run a lot. He can do that, but he also has strong attributes for centre-back. And I think that will be, when he develops a little bit more, that will be his strongest attributes. So I think he will switch back to centre-back eventually.
Looking at his height, according to the Transfermarkt website, he's only 1.82 metres, which for our English listeners is about 5'10". That's quite short though for a centre-back, right? Isn't it? That's sort of, we're getting into Lisandro Martinez territory.
Yeah, it's quite short, but he compensates that with his strength and with his reading of the game. He has a lot of interceptions, which shows that he knows where the passes are going to be. So the thing that he lacks in height, he compensates with other attributes. And yeah, just like Jurrien at Arsenal, he has the same issue, basically. He's also pretty short for a centre-back, but he's more than capable of playing there.
Is there anybody that he reminds you of? You've spoken about some of his attributes, reading the game well. Is there any sort of centre-back, past or present, that he reminds you of in the way he plays?
Yeah, I think he's more comparable with Jurrien, the current Arsenal player. He also likes to carry the ball into midfield, be very adventurous from the centre-back position. He's capable of reading the game. He's defensively strong. So I think he's more comparable with Jurrien, and basically just the type of defender that Ajax has produced over the past few years.
For so long now, Ajax have been synonymous with producing amazing talent through their youth academy. You go back to as far as I think Johan Cruyff, Dennis Bergkamp, I believe Wesley Sneijder came through there, Edgar Davids. There's for years and years there's been amazing talent coming through, and it looks like Jorrel Hato may be the latest in that. What is it you think they do in the academy at Ajax that makes them able to produce so many good players year after year?
They have been doing this since the 1970s. Indeed, Johan Cruyff and all the famous Dutch players that played for the national team, most of them, they came through Ajax. A big part, it's because it's one of the biggest clubs in the Netherlands. So when they're scouting for young talents, they have a big name. So a lot of youth players, they wanted to play in the Ajax youth system. Because they get chances there. And that's the biggest difference with clubs like Feyenoord in the past. Not a lot of youth players got chances there. PSV did the same thing. But Ajax, they're known for giving youth players a chance. And just like Jorrel Hato, at the age of 16, he got to play in the first team. And that's something that Ajax does very well. And something that other clubs can still learn from, I guess. Because, it shows that it pays off to have young players play in the first team instead of paying millions to buy a new player.
Exactly, and in a league where they maybe don't have the finances to compete with the likes of the Premier League or maybe La Liga, it's proved to be such a successful model now for them for such a long time. Part of that model in the past has been they bring those players through, but eventually they do sell them on for normally quite a big profit. If a big club, say Liverpool, Real Madrid, come in January or maybe even next summer for Jorrel Hato, he has a 30 million market value on the Transfermarkt website right now. But what sort of fee do you think Ajax would demand to let him leave the club?
I'm not sure what Ajax is going to ask. I think it will be more than the 30 million that we currently estimate him for. But I don't think Ajax wants to let him go at this moment. So I think they will be asking a very, very steep price. The key will be Jorrel Hato himself, because last season he decided to stay. He wanted to develop at Ajax. But that was when he was still the main starting center back. Now, under his new coach, Farioli, he plays left back. And he hasn't spoken out publicly about that, but some pundits in the Netherlands, they think he's not very happy with that. So if he stays left back, he might be willing to speak to other clubs when they come knocking. But what Ajax considers, no, he is their star player at the moment, the one that has the highest ceiling, and they wanted to develop him a few more years until they can sell him for a lot more than the 30 million that we estimated him.
Okay, very interesting. So I think he extended his contracts in March and it now runs until 2028. So that would suggest that some of the, it's in Ajax's court at the moment. But like you say, if a player's unhappy and he wants to move on, that could potentially force it. You spoke about sort of Ajax wanting to keep him and develop him further. Do you think that's something that would benefit the player as well? Do you think he's, one, suited to the Premier League, the style of the Premier League, the fast-paced, quite physical league? And two, do you think he's ready for that challenge this season or maybe next season? Or does he need more time in the Eredivisie?
Well, eventually he will have the qualities to succeed at the Premier League level, which it's the hardest competition in the world. Not a lot of people succeed there, especially when you go there too soon. And I think for Jorrel Hato to go there right now, he will have a hard time succeeding. So I think, again, compare him to Jurrien Timber. He decided to stay as long as possible at Ajax as well, until he was a star player in the Netherlands. He was the main character in the Dutch national team, and he had proven himself both in the Dutch league and in European matches. And I think for Jorrel Hato, that would be the best way to go, because he's only 18 right now. He still has a lot to learn. You can see his potential, but you also see when you watch his matches regularly that he still has a few mistakes every match here and there. Mistakes that don't cost you in the Eredivisie, but in the Premier League they will be deadly. So he still has a lot to learn, but his potential is there. But I think if he stays for 2-3 more years in the Eredivisie, he plays European matches, he gains his spot in the Dutch national team, then he will be ready for a step higher up.
Okay, so you've heard it there. Jorrel Hato, one of the most exciting defenders in Europe, a high ceiling, but still maybe a little bit to learn. Kevin, thank you very much for your time and insight today. I'm sure fans will be very, very excited to listen to that, because he's a player that is on the radar of a lot of top clubs. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And don't forget, if you haven't already and you like our content, subscribe below. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for your time, Kevin.